Hey Internet, it's RJ. Welcome back. Thanks for tuning into this show today. Now, today's episode, we're taking a look at Robinhood Gold in comparison to the other legacy banks, Bank of America, Chase, Wells Fargo, Citi, and their program offerings, or really lack thereof. Because, someone who recently went through the choice of where to move some money to, I do think Robinhood Gold could eventually, or if not already is, going to become a problem for some of these legacy banks. So, of course, if that sounds interesting to you, go ahead, press the subscribe button, and let's get to work. Now, of course, we're all very familiar with Robinhood, so we'll be comparing them and their gold tier service membership to likely Bank of America, because they're really the only ones with a similar relationship bank platforms that basically give me more money and I give you other benefits. Now, this thought process really came along because the end of U.S. Bank's Smartly program. Well, technically the program still exists, but you've probably seen it by now. We have plenty of videos on it on the main page under the US Bank playlist. It was a 4% program. They've since, just butchered it. So it's not really useful to anyone anymore. Now the 4%, now you're $100,000 to get a 4% credit card has to be, kept in a checking account. Not really ideal, obviously. So when I moved, I was already with Bank of America and Preferred Rewards, as many of you know, at Platinum Honors, which is $100,000 with Bank of America. It's all in a brokerage account. And then I just keep as an IRA account, then I keep $1 in the checking account because you're required to have a checking account. And so I was trying to pick my catch-all credit card, move back to the unlimited cash card with Bank of America, which would be 2.6% as for the Platinum Honors. We'll get into the rewards in a minute. Or potentially the Robinhood Gold card. You can even give honorable mention to the Sofi credit card because it has a way to get 2.2%. And I went back to Bank of America, but the choice between going to Robinhood was a lot closer, I guess, than I would have expected. And just because Robinhood seems to be doing a lot more than the other banks are offering. And, I have nothing to sell you here for any one of these we're going to talk about. I think just Bank of America compares the best. So, again, let's get into the services, and I'll talk about why this is a problem in the thought process and what they should probably do about it, being the banks. So if we take, for instance, Robinhood Gold to start. Of course, you have Robinhood, the regular just brokerage account, but then Robinhood Gold is their paid service. It's about $50 a year right now. I would imagine that price is going to go up considerably at some point, but of course, you do need to be a Robinhood Gold member to get access to the 3% credit card, and that's 3% back on everything. So that everything except for you can't do like taxes and insurance is debatable sometimes, but for the most part, 3% cash back. Pretty simple to the point. Now, as you might imagine, that's the only real, there's one other card out there from a credit union called AOD. I forget what it stands for, but I do have a good friend who uses that. But even then, that 3% is capped at like $1,500 a month. So if you take a look at the rest of Robinhood Gold, though, because the card on its own would sell many people. But if you're a Gold member, 3.75 APY on uninvested brokerage cash. You get up to $2.5 million FDIC insurance and uninvested cash, bigger instant deposits, professional research. Your first $1,000 of margin borrowed is interest-free. Now they do have exclusive mortgage loan offer and $500 credit towards closing costs. You got to use their lender, but still, accounts managed by Robinhood Strategies are only charge management fees on the first $100,000. Again, most people aren't doing that. Discounted index options, lower commissions. Now, those are like so-so, but the big one here, in addition to the credit card, I believe, is also, as a Gold member, you can get a 3% IRA match on eligible IRA contributions to your Robinhood IRA. Now, there are some rules in that. Again, this isn't a review of the service, so we're not going to go into all of that, but essentially, you can, right now, 2025, late 2025, I don't believe they've released the 2026 contributions. You're talking about $7,000 a year, so you can 3% on top of that, which again doesn't seem like much, but again, it's an individual account that's already capped at how much you can contribute to it a year, hence the $7,000. So to be able to get an extra 3% on that over time, even though you do need to leave the money there for like 5 years, which most people are going to do anyways, unless you're bouncing around, hitting IRA bonuses, which isn't super common. Pretty good. Now, they've got some additional perks coming too. They're teasing out like a private banking. I know I was talking to a guy on Discord a while back where they're bringing out deposit, checking, and savings accounts. But that right there for $50, I mean, that's decent enough, right? Now, if you take a look at the only real competitor out there is, I'll say, honorable mention to SoFi, which we'll take a look at, and then Bank of America. Again, U.S. Bank, while they would still argue, yes, on their website, they have a relationship thing, and Smartly, it doesn't make any sense anymore, right? So even if you look at Sofi Plus is their program, and you get, again, they say more savings, you get 3.8. They're also offering financial planning services, investment services, 10% boost on the cashback rewards card, basically comes out to like 2.2% as well. They also got 5% back on bookings for SoFi Travel if you really wanted to. I mean, so there's some other stuff here. I know we're speed running this one a little bit. But the other thing here is that you can either pay $10 a month or subscribe with eligible direct deposit as well. It includes all the benefits at no extra cost. So just give us your money and we'll give you something for it. Fast forward over now to, or jump, I should say, to Bank of America, which is where I'm at, and you can see the program benefits here. So gold tier, and to do this, again, it's just counting your money with Bank of America and deposit accounts, CDs, brokerages, checking, savings, that whole thing. You also, again, need to have a checking account. But you can see here, gold tier starts at $20,000. And it's a 3-month combined average balance. Platinum tier is $50K. Platinum honors, where I'm at, is $100K. And diamond, which we don't even talk about, is a $1 million. Now you can kind of see, I'll put up the benefits here as well that you get from each of them. We'll do gold and we'll do platinum honors. Diamond doesn't really matter, but you can see here, no fee banking. Well, there's enough checking accounts that are supposed to be free anyways, so I'm not going to give you, a credit for no monthly maintenance fees. $200 mortgage credit is nothing. That doesn't even cover your appraisal. So you can see there. And then Platinum Honors is really the one where you need to be at. That's why that's the only one we talk about. That's when you get into the good credit cards. Or, now you've got the customized cash at 5. The customized cash becomes 5.25. The unlimited cash comes 2.6. On and on and on. Your mortgage credit is $600. But the big problem there is that it starts at $20,000. And for the other two, I can just give you my direct deposit at SoFi, or I can just give you $50 at Robinhood. I'm already comparable and beating you out in some things. I think that's really the problem. Is that one, they're the only, Bank of America is the only one who really offers something like this. Number two, it really, if you were to come to me as a younger person, we generally have, younger audience here. I don't know that I would recommend you going into Bank of America. Some people ask me about it because I've been such a Bank of America fan for the last 3 or so years now, because I have 3 customized cash cards and unlimited cash because of the Platinum Honor status. But I mean, for a young person unestablished to get $20,000, it's going to take some serious doing. Most of us do it because you can easily end up with $100,000 in a retirement account, but you still have to be working for a number of years to do that, and depends on your employer match and this, that, and the other. As for the other ones, you can just get rolling right away. For $50, you can get a 3% card. For $100,000 at Bank of America, you only get 2.6%. You see? And that's really the problem here, is that I think banks, like other companies, forget that eventually young people with no money can become people with money, and that's what's happening. And the real question is, I don't believe Robinhood's going to steal anyone away from Bank of America or these other guys anytime soon. I believe you start catching them early, and eventually the customer base will sort of start to dry up and shrink for these legacy banks. I mean, again, we focus on Bank of America because they're the only ones who even come close to offering something. Chase doesn't offer anything. If you want to go to private client or private bank, I think you get you still get the JP Morgan Reserve, which is the same thing as a Sapphire Reserve. Citi, I don't think it's Citi Gold or Wealth Management. I don't even think they waive the annual fee on the Strata Elite. You get like a discount or something. I don't know that Wells Fargo has any. I mean, they all have something, but like, what do you get for that something? That's kind of the thing. Sure, you can argue better research, better financial advising, that whole thing. But in this day and age, like, we have access to so much stuff now. You can find someone to tell you to just buy an index fund or buy the S&P 500. Like, I don't have to pay someone to do that. And so that's why I think, right, if you were a younger person, you came to me today, I say look at SoFi or look at, Robinhood Gold, especially when I don't think most people are getting the number of credit cards that we are. And I think this is going to be a problem for the big banks eventually, not right away. Heck, even Robinhood they're teasing private bank, which sounds like, I don't care about that. I don't think it's going to be much of anything. But hey, they're like, hey, we'll just get it to you now versus waiting until you have to be, a millionaire to get it or what have you. And so I really would like to see in the future, I think Bank of America needs to buff up their preferred rewards. And I do think part of it, I think they're testing it out now. I'm hopeful that they are. Because to finish the story in the beginning of choosing where to move back to, Bank of America won because their current offer for the unlimited cash card makes it from 1.5x to 2x, and then that stacks with preferred rewards, so 3.12% for the first year. But even then, that's not obvious that it stacks. Like I was lucky enough to have a Bank of America employee comment on one of the videos that I did on the second channel talking about the offers, and they were like, no, it does stack. But if I wasn't me and didn't get someone to reach out, like, what? How would you know that? I'm not even that big of a deal. Like, so that's what ended up winning me over. Plus, I'd already done the work to set up Bank of America. I don't have the fee. I'm fairly established at this point, enough that I can take advantage of that. But again, if I was starting out in the credit card game today, I think the answer is Robinhood Gold or SoFi, both of which I think are going to get better. I think they will get more expensive, to be sure, but I can't even say it wouldn't be worth it. I mean, we'll have to see what the fee comes out to be. As what we covered, the other banks don't offer you anything. And we've seen this in the auto industry. Like, you remember Mercedes had like the CLA, which was like a CLS, but just cut in half, like a baby version. Because that was like, that was the car they made for the junior executives. The guy trying to come up, because you figure out, if I've never worked with your product at all, by the time I have money, if I'm used to Ford Focuses and Fusions, well, maybe I just buy a Ford Performance. Or maybe if I get a ton of money, maybe I just go buy the Ford, put my name on the list for a Ford GTD Mustang or something like that. So I think we get the point. My overall thought was going through this process when I looked at these and tried to make my own decision as someone, again, sort of established enough to take advantage of Platinum Honors, is that it's, closer than you'd think. And I think sometimes we can forget that, being more established folks. But for the younger crowd, I think these services are definitely going to steal away folks. And it's funny because they're just kind of learning young people speak. It's, they're not charging, instead of charging a fee for a checking account, they're just charging you a subscription fee. It's kind of the same thing, just change on words. And now this day and age, people are used to subscription fees. That sounds less painful than a checking maintenance fee, right? So it's a lot of that. The big banks could learn how to deal with those customers better. User interface is going to be a huge thing. Perks that matter. American Express is really good at this. We can hate the Platinum Card coupon book all day long, but they keep telling us it's working with their target demographic, which is not us. I mean, Chase on the Sapphire line a little bit, but as far as banking programs, they don't do any of that. Chase at one point played with Sapphire banking, but I don't think it really went anywhere. But these other guys, they're really catching on. And I think it's going to be a problem. Now, there is some downside. I still don't love banking with, SoFi is a real bank now, but on occasion, these neo or fintech banks, they can struggle. I mean, we remember the whole Robinhood fiasco back in the day with GameStop. But, even still, I'll get random emails. Someone who opens 50 plus checking accounts a year. I'll get emails from the fintechs of, hey, we're cutting this service or that service. You'd be surprised how many fintechs you can't even initiate an ACH out from. Like, the go-to bank, I think, is like that. I can't ACH out. I have to always pull or push the money, which is a weird thing. And then again, I do believe Robinhood has stumbled and fumbled quite a bit on the gold card rollout. That was another thing that went into the decision. Can I actually get the gold card, right? It's been on wait list for so long. Some people are getting it, some people aren't. No real rhyme or reason. So they still have some growing pains, to be sure, but they're still growing, as where I think Bank of America and those guys have like, no, we're stopped growing now. I don't see improvements in the user interface anymore. I don't see improvements in features and how they interact with customers. I don't see improvements in products. Again, my hope is that they're testing what going to 3% would look like in the preferred rewards landscape, but I don't with this intro offer, but I'm not confident in that. It's really just me being hopeful. So all that to say, as someone who has a bunch of different cards and a bunch of different banking products, I do think sometimes we forget about the folks just now entering the game. And for them, I think Robinhood Gold, SoFi is likely a much better play, more approachable than trying to go after Platinum Honors, which is going to take you some number of years to get there, just because that's how long it generally takes to build up that much money to work, is where these guys are letting you, hey, we'll just take you right now. And if I'm a bank, I should take notice, because it might not be a problem today, but I do think it's going to be a problem in the future. So I'll turn it over to you. If you guys have chosen between the two, I know we do have some Robinhood Gold fans out there. I know we have a few Preferred Rewards fans out there. Let me know what you think about the two services, thought process. Turn it over to you, and we can chop it up in the comments. As always, I do love to talk with you guys over these conversational episodes. So anyways, that's the show for today. So, of course, if you liked it, drop me a thumbs up down below if you found it particularly interesting. Consider subscribing to the channel. So, we're posting content just like this every single week and right back every Sunday with all the news you can use in the week that was in credit and finance. And, of course, every single day over on profitablecontent.com. which is, of course, the channel's blog. Always linked down below for you. We have, of course, the latest news. We have checking account offers, none from Robinhood yet. And, of course, we have credit card offers as well. Anyways, that'll do for this one. Thank you so much for watching. I'll talk to you very soon in the next one.